for tuning in and welcome to the Property Guide. This is a comprehensive guide to the property market. We've reviewed locations, developers and projects so you can find the right home and make the most profitable and efficient investment when it comes to buying real estate. We thank you for your wonderful response to our first couple of episodes. This is episode 4 of the Property Guide. Remember, you can send in questions to thepropertyguide@etnow.com. On the show this week, we will first tell you if it makes sense in Mumbai to pay a premium for projects from premium developers. We'll review the micro market of Dwarka Expressway and tell you if that's a location that you should consider as an investment option. And we'll also tell you whether it makes sense right now to invest in Greater Noida. Alright, joining us now on the show are Om Ahuja, the CEO of Residential Services at Zone Land LaSalle, and Karthik Verma, co-founder of PropTiger, who joins us in Delhi. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's a pleasure to have you on the Property Guide. Today's discussion is very interesting. Now, we know that there are a lot of premium developers in the city of Mumbai who charge well above market price for the apartments they build. The question we're asking is, does it make sense for you to consider these apartments and pay that premium? Especially if you're an investor, will it give you the right amount of growth on your investment? Let's first take a look at all of these projects right now in Mumbai and a comparison of what they're charging with what the rate is on the street. There are several developers in Mumbai who will tell you that their brand comes with a premium tag. Here's a look at how they price their projects. Hiranandani's Maitri Park project in Chembur is priced at 22,700 rupees a square foot. That's 5,000 rupees higher than the locality price. Rustomji's project in Thane is priced at 18,000 rupees a square foot. That's double the price of the rest of the neighborhood. Godrej Properties Serenity in Chembur, priced at 28,863 rupees, is almost 11,000 rupees higher than the rest of the neighborhood. Godrej Platinum in Vikhroli, priced between 25,000 and 34,000 rupees, is almost double the rest of the neighborhood. Oberoi Realty's Exquisite in Goregaon is priced at 24,000 rupees a square foot, 9,000 rupees higher than the locality. The Lodha Group's Aristo in Thane, priced at 15,200 rupees a square foot, and the Lodha's Evoke in Vadala, priced at 22,500, are both 6,000 rupees higher than the rest of the competition. Raheja Developers' Metal Box in Worli, priced at 50,000 rupees a square foot, is 14,000 rupees higher than the rest of Worli. And India Bulls Blue in Worli, priced at 60,000 rupees a square foot, is nearly double the price of projects in the rest of Worli. Alright, so you got that list down. Now let's take a look at whether or not it makes sense. I'm going to start with you, Om. The thing about premium developers, and let's talk about two separate groups of people, end users who are actually going to live in these apartments and investors. Now, if you first consider investments, in places like Thane, Chembur, Panvel, where there are developers who are now charging, like we saw on the list, double what the street is charging, does it make sense for me to invest in those properties? Are the risks different? Will the returns be different?
Premium properties, the definition is very different in different parts of the country and different parts of the city. When we say premium, it's primarily keeping in mind there's a lot of more USPs attached to a property, a lot more view and a lot more pin code and a lot more aspects of snob value which is attached to a property. Premium is not just basically giving more amenities, giving more luxury in terms of aspects of design. It's not, doesn't work. So what we've seen is island, part of the prime island where there's Worli, or you have the prime addresses like Nepean Sea Road or Cuff Parade, or you have to an extent I would say Parel. Their products, there are few products there where the density is very important. In a 6-acre product, 150 families going to live is very critical. That's premium. In a 15-20 acre property, 1,000 families living will not give the premiumness. We continue to believe somebody is looking at actual use, somebody is looking at self-use and has a budget to afford it. He or she should buy into the premium properties with a lot more USPs attached to it.
So if you're looking at a place like Thane, for example, and we just saw on the list that we put out, there are some developers that are charging double what the other developers are charging on the street, or what the going rate is on that particular neighborhood. Does it make sense in a place like Thane, where we're seeing so much development or a place like Deonar or Chembur, one of those places, Vikhroli, where there's so much development, to buy something that's certainly double?
I would say it doesn't make investment logic. It doesn't see, if you're looking at investment per se, well, you will look at exit few years later. When you want to look at few years later exit, I don't think there are many buyers on the street today who are looking at paying that kind of premium in future when you want to exit. Today, if a developer is struggling to sell the product, you may have to struggle more than the developer eventually going forward to sell a premium property, which is actually double the price of the market.
Alright, so avoidable as an investment. If we bring in Karthik, you deal with end users and customers all the time. Now tell us this, there are a lot of developers who currently claim to be building premium apartments. Can you give us a checklist of what qualifies as a premium apartment and what should command that kind of rate?
To start with, just any builder who doesn't have a brand can't suddenly price their product at a premium level if they don't have a history of delivering a certain kind of quality in terms of their product is concerned. Premium could also mean timeliness of delivery as well. You don't want to be waiting for 7 years for the project to be delivered. So other than, some of the things that you'd be looking at the entry level, you also want to look at, things like whether the quality of construction remains or not, which is why the past track record is very important. If I'm a builder who has delivered on time, on budget, and exactly related to the specs that I had marketed the property at, then I have the ability to actually extract some kind of a premium pricing when I'm launching new projects out there. Depending upon how the planning permission works out over there, if there's a lot of space, if there's a lot of 360-degree view and so on, all those different factors certainly add to the premiumness of a property compared to 1 acre having 75, 80 units in a city like Mumbai could just be very, very dense. So I think it's a bunch of hardware and software issues, and as consumers, be they end users or investors, choose to put their money down into a premium property, they need to be doing a thorough research on it, particularly if they're paying a price which is higher than a comparable price than what you suggested in the neighborhood.
The other question I have for you is, you did mention as an investor, it does not make sense for me to go, especially in Mumbai, anywhere off the island and look for premium property. So if I were looking for a premium investment in real estate in Mumbai, what areas would you recommend I look at?
I would say anywhere which is South Mumbai and in and around BKC, that is the financial hub of Mumbai. That is what we think is something which one should look at in terms of premium. And the other location, which is the destination which we believe is Chembur, which basically is, in terms of connectivity going forward, it will be the best connected place in Mumbai city. So that is a pocket which we believe that one should look at.
Here's a list of premium projects currently being built in the city of Mumbai that our experts suggest will actually give you bang for that buck. Take a look. Lodha Group's codename Metropolis in Vadala, priced at nearly 16,000 rupees a square foot. L&T's Crescent Bay in Parel, priced at 21,000 rupees a square foot. Kalpatru's Avana, also in Parel, at 32,000 rupees a square foot. The K. Raheja Metal Box Lot Tower in Worli at 50,000 rupees a square foot. One Avignan Park in Lower Parel at 40,000 rupees a square foot. And Runwal's unnamed Napalchi Road project priced at 85,000 rupees a square foot. Alright, so that was the list. We'll quickly take a couple of questions that came in response to our episode last week about Bangalore. Rajesh Subramanian has written in, he booked a 2-bedroom apartment in a project by Commune Properties in Chandrapura Anikal Road in Bangalore. He tells us he booked it at 2,300 rupees a square foot. He wants to know what the expected value of property will be in this location, maybe early 2015. Let's talk about the location in general. This is next to Electronic City. We were talking about Sarjapur Road and those areas. This is in the other direction. Will this see the kind of appreciation of the next 2 odd years?
We believe this is an oversupply zone. We believe the kind of supply which is going to hit the road in terms of next few years, it's going to keep these prices subdued. And we don't see prices moving up faster, and we neither see that there is going to be enough demand to drive this price movements there.
Alright, we'll take a very quick break. When we come back, both of our guests are going to stay with us and we'll review the micro market of Dwarka Expressway and find out if it's actually a location that makes an interesting investment option. We'll also give you a list of products that you can hold on to. Welcome Welcome back to watching the Property Guide in 18 Hours. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our guests Om Ahuja and Kartik Verma are still with us, helping us find the right investment when it comes to property. This week, our review of a micro market focuses on Dwarka Expressway. Now, this 18-kilometer stretch, promising as an investment location right now, and it seems to have a lot of construction coming up on that stretch. Take a look. Dwarka Expressway, New Delhi's new artery into Gurgaon, has been buzzing with real estate activity from the beginning of 2008. Now, the first thing you'll notice about this 18-kilometer stretch of road is the construction on either side. Nearly 100 residential projects with 47,000 apartments are currently under construction. About 70% of these apartments will be luxury homes with amenities that range from helipads to double-height living rooms and Italian marble. The prices on the expressway range from 4,700 rupees a square foot in sectors closer to Gurgaon to 14,000 rupees a square foot in sectors closer to Delhi, which command a 35% premium to those not within city limits. Even though the prices of homes have risen 33% over the last year, sales have slowed down drastically in the last couple of quarters thanks to a glum economy and investors who are looking for exit options. To top it off, construction of the expressway itself has faced several delays, and it does seem like the deadline of October 2013 will be moved 18 months. Alright, Dwarka Expressway. Kartik, I'm going to come straight to you first. You just put out a report from your company saying nearly 50,000 units under construction in Dwarka Expressway, and you have noticed sales slowing down over the last quarter or so?
Yes, that's right. Dwarka Expressway got initially launched, or projects in that geography got launched in the first half of 2008, beginning first half of 2008. And after the expressway was announced, there were a lot more launches that occurred at that point in time. We've noticed starting the earlier part of this year that launches have slowed down, and that's partly because prices had reached levels of close to 9,000 to 9,500 on average for units that were typically more than 3 bedrooms in size. Dwarka has also traditionally been a very investor-driven market, much as its neighbor in Gurgaon. And given the state of the macroeconomy and so on, there's generally been slow offtake of properties over there. And we feel that's perhaps one of the reasons why new projects or announcements related to new projects have slowed down right now.
Well, 18 kilometers is a very long stretch, and the range of pricing on Dwarka Expressway is very different. It starts at 4,700, it goes right up to 14,000 rupees per square foot. For any investor right now looking at Delhi, does Dwarka Expressway make sense? Is that something you recommend?
We would be cautious on Dwarka Expressway, primarily for a simple reason that, what you see the price range, moment you're closer to Delhi, you have prices moving up. Moment you're away from Delhi, the prices keep going down. That's how the trending is currently. But we believe, what Kartik rightly said, it's more an investor's market. One needs to be very cautious. There is somehow a feeling there is a lot of oversupply which has got created there. A lot of investors have got stuck in this specific zone with regard to the kind of momentum which is currently being witnessed. There is very little action we see in terms of pickup into the zone, and we believe that new master plan of Delhi, which is 2021 master plan, 5 such Dwarka Expressway type of things are going to come up within Delhi Municipal Corporation. The choice of the buyer would be either Delhi or either Gurgaon, and Dwarka will have lot of question mark in terms of going forward unless we see serious action in terms of infrastructure, social infrastructure, and many more aspects to it.
Kartik, in terms of infrastructure, how long is it going to take before that Dwarka Expressway is complete? And all of the social infrastructure we're talking about on either sides of those streets, we haven't seen any of it actually come up. How long is it going to be before it's the bustling hub that it's projected to be right now?
Right. Well, if I knew when the expressway was being made, I'd just go and buy a whole bunch of apartments there and sell them. But jokes apart, I think the construction of the expressway has been delayed for a couple of different reasons. The party that had won the tender has been a little bit slow. There's been some issue of dislocation of about 500 families in Palam Vihar that had held up the construction as well. Hope is that sometime in the next 12 to 18 months, all these issues will be resolved and one will have a fine piece of infrastructure in terms of the highway over there. but it will be a little while before the expressway gets constructed. When it does get constructed, it will take you order of magnitude about 15 to 18 minutes from NH8 all the way to the end of Dwarka on the Delhi side. So I think the different lanes on the highway, the 150-meter wide road and all those other things are very important. I second what Om said about hard infrastructure being put in there. These things tend to take a lot of time in India.
I want to ask you a very pointed question, Karthik. If I were one of your clients and I came into your office asking you for advice to make an investment in Delhi, would you recommend Dwarka Expressway, or is there a better option there?
Not at this time. I think the prices are fairly expensive for where we are in terms of the evolution of Dwarka right now. Like Om said, a lot of absorption needs to occur before there'll be some kind of correction, not correction in terms of price decline, but just an improvement in what the prices ought to be relative to the value of the area right now. So we probably wouldn't recommend an investment in Dwarka Expressway.
Well, Om, in terms of an alternative to Dwarka Expressway, what are you recommending to your clients right now?
We would see Sona as a better investment, or you have Golf Course Extension, which is also a safer part of pickup in terms of long-term investment.
So while our guests agree that investing in the Dwarka Expressway area right now might not be the best idea because of the oversupply, if you're still interested in making an investment here, our panel has drawn up a list of projects that are worth your attention. The Oyster Grande by the Adani Group, priced at 6,300 rupees a square foot. The Wind Chant by the Experian Group at 9,500 rupees a square foot. International City from Shobha Developers at 11,000 rupees a square foot. The Puri Constructions Diplomatic Greens and Emerald Bay, and the Golf Avenue by CHD Developers, priced at 7,000 rupees a square foot. If you'd like to send us your questions, there's an email ID at the bottom of your screen. Also, if you want us to take a look at any particular city or review a micro market, feel free to write into us. Time to take a very short break. When we come back, we're going to tell you if it makes sense to invest in Greater Noida. Welcome back. You're watching The Property Guide at ET Now. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now it's time to look at our legal question for this week. Jyoti Grover has written in. She invested in the Unitech Horizon property in Greater Noida. Now, after waiting for 7 long years, she tells us she finally got possession. However, the builder tells her he cannot facilitate the registration of her apartment because he has hefty unpaid dues with the Noida authorities, and the authorities are not registering any apartments from that building right now. She's tried to sell the unit, but obviously, since it's not been registered, it cannot be sold. Now, she wants to know what she can do right now as a customer going forward. What we've done for you, Jyoti, is that we've spoken to a lawyer. Amit Haryani is a lawyer on our panel right now. Amit, what can she do?
My suggestion to you would be, take possession first. Don't delay in possession, because possession is 90% of the law. Take a possession letter, take adequate documentation, and go ahead. The second thing to do is then look to let out the flat so that you can get some income from the flat. Even if your registration is not done, I am pretty sure that you will get a person who will let out the flat from you. He or she may not buy it from you, but people are willing to let out these flats. So you get an income stream. Then the third thing to do is what are your legal options. And there I would strongly suggest that you go to a consumer court. It's the cheapest option and it's the quickest option. By quick, it's not like immediate. It takes maybe a year or two. But still, that's the best thing for you to do. There, in addition to making the company a party, I would also suggest that you make the registering authority a party, because what the registration authorities are doing is really penalizing you and not the company. Therefore, you also have a right to have your document registered. Go ahead and all the best.
Alright, Jyoti, we hope that helps. Now, and Karthik are still with us. Jyoti also wants to know if it makes sense for her to hold on to that investment in Greater Noida. What is your view on Greater Noida going forward?
Well, I would say Greater Noida specifically is good for people who are looking to stay and commuting to Delhi in terms of work. Yes, it basically makes a lot of sense in terms of value for money, in terms of what you like to get. It's not that it's a very nice, hip and happening place, but yes, it's a very budget and specifically targeted towards people who can't afford Gurgaon, who can't afford Delhi. Noida gives them a good room for space and good room for pricing. So that's where we see in long term, we see this will actually catch up. This will actually further see the upside in terms of value. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of law and order getting much better there. Things will actually be better going forward.
So she should hold on there?
She should continue to hold on.
Hold on to that project. Karthik, Greater Noida had a lot of potential when it initially started off. We had so much buzz around it. That buzz seems to have died out over the last couple of years. What's your view on Greater Noida?
Like you said, I think a lot of that potential hasn't been delivered upon. One really can't put one's finger on why this is the case. Perhaps the development of Greater Noida West and Yamuna Expressway as alternatives to Greater Noida has stolen some of that thunder. For the time being, in terms of a hot investment location, Yamuna Expressway certainly wins when compared to Greater Noida.
In fact, before we wrap up, here's a list of projects that our experts have recommended in the Greater Noida region. Our experts recommend these projects in Greater Noida. The Mahagun Woods priced at nearly 4,000 rupees a square foot, Supertex Albaria and Oxford Square, and Royal City by Purvanchal Construction priced at 3,200 rupees a square foot. As an alternative, you can also consider the Yamuna Expressway, the GP Group's Villa Expansa at nearly 8,000 rupees a square foot, Supertex Stable Castle at 3,500 rupees a square foot, and Oris's Curio City at 3,000 rupees a square foot. If you plan to invest in Noida, here are our panel's recommendations: the Mahagun Modern at 6,000 rupees a square foot, the Wisteria at 5,300 rupees a square foot, and the Crystal Court at nearly 8,000 rupees a square foot. Okay, so with that, it brings us to the end of the Property Guide in ET Now. Email ID is at the bottom of your screen. And Karthik, thank you so much for spending time with us this weekend and answering our questions. You can find a copy of this show on our Facebook page, and you can reach me personally on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching.